I would think that the Miami Dolphins should win. If it is a low-scoring affair, if the New Orleans Saints can keep it under 20 points, then they have an excellent chance to win.
Don Shula with his team huddled around him. Shula, the winningest active coach in the NFL, 261 wins. He is in his 24th season as an NFL head coach. And on the opposite sideline, Jim Mora in his first season as an NFL head coach, coming over from the USFL, where he won 2 league championships.
And we talked to Jim Mora yesterday, Tom, and he's quite excited, I think, about facing the great Don Shula and matching X's and O's. I think you'd have to be.
Any coach would be trying to rise to the challenge to face one of the great ones, Don Shula. And Mora said yesterday that, had a little twinkle in his eye, he said, yes, it'll be a nice challenge to face.
What a gathering here today.
70,000 fans, the second sellout of the season for the New Orleans Saints, their final home game this year. You see the fans here at the site of the Super Bowl last January. And, of course, this is a great football town, and they're hoping that the Saints can win their final 3 games to have the best year in history for this franchise. We mentioned in the opening that the Miami Dolphins will probably have the services of Mark Clayton today, who's been injured. Morton Anderson is set to kick it off for the New Orleans Saints. And as you see from the stat, he can kick it deep. And deep for the Miami Dolphins are Ellis along with Bud Brown. Morton Anderson with the kick. And it is a sailor. It'll almost go out of the end zone. Ellis downs it in the end zone, and Dan Marino will lead that high-powered Dolphin offense onto the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Marino directs the top offense in the NFL. The top passing game in the league has already passed 3,800 yards in the air, 33 touchdown passes. The Marks brothers intact, Clayton and Duper. Clayton has been injured but starts today, over 2,000 yards between them. On the offensive line, Dellenbach replaces the injured John Giesler. Ronnie Lee starts for the injured Larry Lee. And, of course, the anchor, 3-time Pro Bowl center Dwight Stevenson. First down at the 20 for the Dolphins. Marino over the middle to Bruce Hardy as tight end. A gain of about 4 yards on the play. Sam Mills, one of the inside linebackers, makes the stop. Here's the starting defensive lineup for the Saints. Up front, nose tackle Tony Elliott predicted yesterday he would give Dwight Stevenson quite a battle. We'll see as the game unfolds. The Saints are strong at linebacker as well as the defensive line. Jackson, 3-time Pro Bowler. Mills, only 5'9", 2-time All-USFL. And you see the secondary. Waymer has 7 interceptions this year. On second down, pitch to Lorenzo Hampton. And he is decked right at the line of scrimmage by James Haynes. Falls forward for a yard or 2, but Haynes really stood him up.
That's the trademark of these New Orleans Saints. They are a hard-hitting, aggressive, pursuing defensive team. Jim Mora told me yesterday that I've got to be able to stop something, and I want to stop the run. Watch the block right there and the hit by number 92, James Haynes. Picture perfect. That's the way you want it. Look at the taunting going on already.
And Johnny Poe, the quarterback, took out the blocker, setting Haynes up to make the clean hit on Hampton. Pruitt, Clayton, and Duper, wide receivers, all in the game on 3rd and 3 for the Dolphins. Across the middle, Marino with a strike for the first down, complete to Mark Clayton. Bobby Johnson in the nickel defense for New Orleans makes the stop.
In my opinion, what you have to do with Dan Marino is this. I don't think you can rush him or you can blitz him. So therefore, I believe teams are more apt to put people in coverage. Rush 3 men and defend with 8. That way you cover up some of the lanes because no one is actually going to get to Dan Marino.
Marino has passed for 33 touchdowns already this year. He has a first down. Good protection and completes it to Hampton. Hampton just shy of the 40-yard line, got about 6 yards. Antonio Gibson, the strong safety, whom Jim Morris says is the most consistent player in his secondary, makes the play for the defense.
We'll be watching this battle in the center of your screen. Number 57, Dwight Stevenson, and number 99, Tony Elliott. Now look how far off the ball Tony Elliott is. He says this is going to help him get away from Dwight Stevenson at the line of scrimmage. He doesn't get away that time. Excellent protection for Dan Marino.
Had plenty of time and got 7. Hampton. First down to midfield and into Saints territory. Hampton bounced off a player at the line of scrimmage, got outside and picked up first down yardage. Frank Watford made the saving tackle for the Saints.
Now, if you're going to allow the Dolphins to run the football as well as pass it, you're in for a long day, and the Dolphins are going to score a lot of points. Let's watch it now. Coming to the right of your screen, number 27, Lorenzo Hampton. Look at the tackle breaking run here. Good vision, gets outside and eludes Waymer on the outside. Waymer should have made that tackle.
14-yard gain for Hampton, the leading rusher on this Dolphins squad. And the Dolphins with a first down at the Saint 46. On the screen pass, Hampton stopped at the 42-yard line. Sam Mills got over in the middle of that interference and finally made the tackle.
Talking about Tony Elliott, number 99, is 6'3", 295 pounds. Number 99 in the center of your screen. Watch he against Dwight Stevenson. Gets right by Stevenson and Foster both. Now watch the hustle down the line of scrimmage. That's a man that weighs almost 300 pounds pursuing like that. Good effort by Tony Elliott.
Nice play by Elliott. So as we're keeping score on our isolated replays, one for Stevenson, one for Elliott. Dolphins have it 2nd and 5. Complete. It'll be first down yardage. Tony Nathan out of the backfield made the grab, and Sam Mills pounced on him, but it was enough for another Dolphin first down.
What a valuable utility player, if that is the word. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but Tony Nathan has been just awesome over the years, coming out of the backfield, catching those Dan Marino passes that pick up first downs and keep drives going just like that.
He's the 3rd leading rusher, the 5th leading receiver on this Dolphin team, showing you his versatility. First down, Miami at the 35 of New Orleans. Pitch it back to Hampton. Tries to jump the stack and got only a couple of yards. James Haynes, outside linebacker on the right side, stopping Hampton after a short gain.
Very impressive drive by the Dolphins so far. There's nothing more intimidating than an offense coming out, taking the kickoff, and marching. It begins to make the defense wonder if they've got enough tools to stop you. So far, Marino has been utilizing the short, quick pass to keep those outstanding outside linebackers of the Saints off balance.
High-powered Dolphin passing game, and of course the defense has been the flip side of the coin, and one of the reasons they're 6 and 7. Marino has another completion inside the Saint 20. Mark Clayton on the look-in made the grab and takes it down to about the 16-yard line, where Frank Watford stops him. Marino sharp today, and he's glad to have Clayton back, who caught that one for 14 yards.
He's no different than any symphony conductor you might have seen. He's a master at this. Working short, now he comes back across to Clayton. Clayton has that first-degree separation. It's very painful. You've got to give him a lot of credit for being out there playing today.
Mark the ball at the Saint 18-yard line. Miami with a first down. Marino has not misfired yet today. On the ground, this will be Bennett. And Woody Bennett powers straight ahead. He got about 3 or 4 yards before he was stopped by Ricky Jackson, the all-pro linebacker of the Saints. Bennett has rushed for 134 yards this year. That's 4th leading rusher on the Dolphin squad. Miami starting this drive at its own 20 after the opening kickoff, and now down at the 12, where they have 2nd and 4. Hampton inside the 10, dives forward to about the 4-yard line. Dave Waymer, the cornerback, stopping Hampton, but the Dolphins with another first down. It'll be 1st and goal. Check the other scores around the NFL. Nothing on the board in those games. No score there either. We may have the first score of the day if the Dolphins take it on in. Nope, there's the first score. Atlanta winners over Miami a week ago, 7-0 on the winless Colts in the first.
That's no surprise.
Atlanta has sort of been an up-and-down team. Started great, hit a real slump, and then beating Miami in the Orange Bowl a week ago. Dan Johnson and Bruce Hardy, 2 tight ends on 1st and goal from the 4. Hampton, touchdown. Lorenzo Hampton waltzes into the end zone, and the Miami Dolphins march 80 yards off the opening kickoff to go up 6-0 on the Saints. Hampton has been the main man on the ground for the Dolphins this year. He is the second-year man out of Florida.
Let's watch now on the replay. Number 61, Roy Foster leading Hampton into that hole there. And now you see the explosion outside by the big, quick back. And that's what Shula has been expecting from Lorenzo Hampton.
Woody Bennett cleared the way for him. Here's Fuad Reveiz to add the extra point. He is now 42 of 45 PATs this year, and he puts the Dolphins up early on the New Orleans Saints. It's 7-0 Miami with 7:59 to play, first quarter.
Which we'll get to. Crushes him, allows Lorenzo Hampton to get into the end zone. Here's another angle. This is outstanding blocking. You see the block once again by Bennett and the block by Foster. That's the way you draw it up. They execute it perfectly.
In fact, it was a textbook drive, start to finish. The Dolphins looked flawless on offense as they go 80 yards in 12 plays and just over 7 minutes. Fuad Reveiz kicks it deep into the end zone, and Mel Gray cannot bring it out. And so the Saints will begin at their own 20-yard line with their first offensive possession of the afternoon. Let's set the lineup for you. Dave Wilson is the quarterback. Coach Jim Morris sticking with Wilson despite the fans calling for Bobby Hebert. Mays, of course, has been a sensation, over 1,000 yards as a rookie. Jones, the Saints' top receiver, with 35 catches. Martin has 31. On the offensive line, Hilgenberg starts in place of Pat Saindon. The other guard, Chuck Kaminsky, was all USFL for Coach Mora before coming to the Saints. One of 11 former USFL players on this team. That's tops in the league. Wilson will go to the air. Complete. Pass complete to Mike Jones for a Saint first down out to the 40-yard line. Bud Brown, the safety, beaten on the play, a 20-yard strike on the Saints' first play from scrimmage.
That's the way to answer Marino and the Dolphins if you're Dave Wilson and the New Orleans Saints. You have to get back in this game in a hurry. You know the Dolphins are going to score a lot of points. Mike Jones, obtained from the Minnesota Vikings, runs a nice pattern over the middle. The thing about that is that Dave Wilson gets the ball to him perfectly and on time.
He was absolutely wide open. The Saints with a first down at their 40. Mays, not much there, but he got about 3 yards on the play. Let's set the defense now for you. The Miami Dolphins start with Turner, a rookie, getting a spot on the defensive line. This defense ranks next to last in the NFL. Among the linebackers, another rookie, Offerdahl, leads the team in tackles and is a candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And the third starting rookie on the Dolphin defensive unit, Renee Thompson, who got his first starting call against Atlanta last week. Wilson on 2nd and 7. Complete to Tice, the tight end. He's got a first down to the Miami 45-yard line. John Offerdahl, the inside linebacker, the outstanding rookie out of Western Michigan, makes the stop, but Tice has a first down.
John Tice from Maryland has a brother, Mike Tice, who also starts as a tight end for the Seattle Seahawks. This is excellent comeback ability by the Saints. They're telling the Dolphins right now, if you're going to score a lot of points, we can hang with you, and they must do that.
First down for the Saints at the 46 of Miami. Just over 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. Miami up 7-0. Dave Wilson has struggled at times for the Saints this year, but Coach Jim Morris says overall has done a good job. Give it to Gray on the end around. Gray to the 40-yard line. About 6 yards on the play. Bob Brodzinski, the outside linebacker, staying at home and stopping Gray on the end around.
Mel Gray weighs 166 pounds. He's a kick return specialist. They like to get him in for reverses and open field plays like that. He's an exciting player to watch. Might be interesting, Tom, to watch the battle between John Offerdahl and Ruben Mays, both possible rookies of the year.
2nd and 5. Here's Ruben Mays picking his way, and looks like he got a first down. Excellent run by Ruben Mays, tiptoeing down the sideline. T.J. Turner forced him out, but Mays picked up the first down.
The Saints say pound for pound, Ruben Mays is the strongest man on this football team. Watch it going to the left of your screen. Number 36 gets around the outside. Good block by John Tice. Tiptoes down the right sideline. First down.
Nice balance by the rookie there.
Yes.
Played his college football at Washington State. He was a third-round draft choice, but is the NFL's top rookie rusher in 1986. First down at the Dolphin 35. Wilson. And it's complete. Diving catch by Tice, who takes it to the Miami 20-yard line. That goes for 14 yards and another Saint first down. Rene Thompson made the stop. And Tice, who came down apparently on his shoulder, may be injured. He's still down. So time for us to take a break. 5:09 to play in the first quarter. Miami leading, but New Orleans driving.
And I know his adrenaline is flowing right now. You can't help but feel that way when you play against one of the great players in this game.
Dueling quarterbacks today. Marino 6 for 6. Wilson is 3 for 3. Saints with a first down at the Dolphin 20. For the end zone. Incomplete, just over the outstretched hands of Buford Jordan. He had beaten his man, but Wilson overshot him by a tad. Offerdahl covering on the play.
But that was a good pass by Dave Wilson because Jordan had tight coverage, and the only way Wilson could get that football in there was to loft it. You can see the coverage by Offerdahl. That's excellent. And he had to loop the ball over the defender, and if you were going to make that catch, it has to be a diving, falling away catch. Jordan just couldn't come up with it. Just a few inches outside of his reach. Excuse me.
First incompletion by either quarterback today. Second down from the 20, 2nd and 10. Reuben Mays used his blocker well. Touchdown! The crowd is saying, Reuben, Reuben, and you can see why on the replay.
Well, you can see why this man is our pick for NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. Explodes through a block right there. Look at that tackle that he broke right there. Now down the sideline, we told you he has that strength. You saw that, and he has the quickness once he's on the outside to outrun defensive backs. What a player.
20-yard touchdown run by Reuben Mays, and a great run. And Anderson is on to try to tie it up. He is 23 of 23 on PATs this year. And his kick is good. So the Saints match the Dolphins drive with an 80-yarder of their own to tie the game. 7 game. The Saints are supposed to be a little more methodical than the Dolphins. They struck quickly. Watch Reuben Mays again.
Watch the left side of your screen. Number 43 coming up on the left. Bud Brown has a chance right there. He breaks the tackle. That's that strength that's so vital. And then outruns the cutoff angles of both defensive backs.
Brown really needed to get his head in front in order to make that tackle. He got it behind him, and Mays just broke right through it. Morton Anderson to kick it off. Ellis and Kozlowski are deep for the Dolphins. This is Ellis at about the 3. Got a lane, a flag down. Ellis has got running room. Anderson stops him at the 42-yard line. Great return by Ellis. We'll check the penalty marker. Ellis returned at 40 yards. Tom Dooley heads the officiating crew here today. And it looks like they're going to bring it back.
Disregard the flag. There is no foul.
All right, they will not bring it back. It'll stand. No foul. 40-yard return by Ellis.
Watch the blocking that develops right on the right of your screen. Right there, the hold. Double team blocking on both sides of the ball. Excellent. Now watch Morton Anderson, number 7, get knocked over right there. And that's what a runner is told to do. If you see the kicker, run over him.
Craig Ellis with that 40-yard return. He's a first-year player out of San Diego State. Played 5 years in the Canadian Football League. So the Dolphins, great field position, first down at their own 43-yard line. 7-7 game, 4.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Ellis with the longest kickoff return of the season, that 40-yarder, longest for the Dolphins this year. Another strike by Marino. This one complete for another Dolphin first down. Hampton out of the backfield, took it for about 12 yards, and another Dolphin first down. Frank Watlett, the free safety, on the stop.
The Saints can't play that defense, Tom. They won't work because they're so involved with covering Duper and Clayton downfield. The linebackers are too far into the secondary, and as long as they do that, Marino is going to take the gimmies to Lorenzo Hampton, and you better put somebody on Hampton because he can break it on you and take it 60, 70 yards for a touchdown.
Marino is 7 for 7 passing here in the first quarter. First down, Dolphins at the 44. Hampton Good blocking. Dives ahead to the 37-yard line. Antonio Gibson covers him there, but a good hole opened up by Dwight Stevenson and company.
I'm thrilled. I tell you, I'd like to go down there and play. This is my kind of game. People are getting the football downfield. The backs are running well. There's good blocking. There's going to be some points scored today.
This Saint defense allowed only 2 yards net rushing to New England a week ago to set a club record. But the Dolphins moving on the ground and through the air against them so far in this game. 2nd and 3. Hampton again. Across the 35 down to the 34-yard line and close to the first down. Bruce Clark, defensive end, a Pro Bowler in 1985, makes the stop.
Dwight Stevenson, number 57, the Dolphins all-pro center, has a very strong upper body. You see him blocking on number 99, Tony Elliott. That's a 300-pounder. He's crushing and takes to the ground, and that's why Stevenson is so good. He's not only quick, but he has massive upper body strength.
And the Dolphins can use him to block that nose tackle one-on-one, where most teams have to use a double team on the nose tackle.
Excellent point.
It'll be a first down by inches. So the Dolphins keep the drive going. The 40-yard return by Ellis gave them good field position to the 43, and this is their second first down on the drive.
The Dolphins' strategy is good because instead of attempting to run on first down against a run defense, they are throwing those short passes on first down, picking up 7 and 8 yards, and that is the key to their drive so far. The short pass on first down.
Much more proficient through the air than on the ground, but doing both well here today. Marino, plenty of time, another man wide open. This is Dan Johnson, the tight end, who takes it for another Dolphin first down. Alvin Tolles made the stop, and it was Hampton on the reception for the first down. It covered 12 yards. They're really using Hampton out of the backfield to good advantage, as you've been pointing out. The Saints unable to cover that.
If the Saints do not change the strategy with their linebackers, they won't stop the Dolphins all day long. There's no way you're going to pass up a Lorenzo Hampton with a little short chip shot like that and then allow that back to run.
Less than 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 7-7 game. The Dolphins with a first down at the New Orleans 22. Marino has been perfect. Another completion for Dan Marino down to the 10-yard line. Duper made the catch. He's thrown back, but they'll mark it again for a Dolphin first down, I believe, or close to it. Johnny Poe drove him back, but Duper had already made the grab.
I've never seen a quarterback with just 4 years in the National Football League dominate and mastermind an offense so expertly as Dan Marino does.
The pass to Duper was good for about 9.5 yards. It's going to be second down and less than a yard for the Dolphins at the 13 in New Orleans. Marino for the end zone. Touchdown. Dan Johnson makes the touchdown grab. Marino is still perfect. Gibson was beaten on the play, and Johnson gets his 4th touchdown catch of the season.
Marino's got people spread out all over the field. He's got the Saints double, single, and then trying to look for somebody to cover. They're not really covering anyone. Marino's release is so quick. He has such outstanding vision downfield. I don't know what the Saints are going to do, but they better do it in a hurry.
Marino has been perfect, and the Saints unable to stop him. Reves, and the extra point is good. 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's a shootout at the Superdome. Miami in front.
Release of Marino, and Dan Johnson is all alone down in the middle of the field because the Saints are trying to double cover on the outside, Duper and Clayton.
Dan Marino has not missed a pass today. And Jim Mora's team has to be shell-shocked, and this does not bode well for his chances of winning. The Saints don't want to get into a shootout with the Dolphins. Reves kicks it deep to Herbert Harris, who takes it in the end zone. And he's got some running room. Tripped up at the 25-yard line. He had a lane for a moment. He took it for 26 yards, and there's a flag down. Don McNeil on special teams made the tackle for the Dolphins. Tom Dooley will give us the call. Illegal block against the New Orleans Saints, which gives us a chance to bring you up to date on the scores. I understand they had a big snowstorm up at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. The Browns, though, used to those kind of conditions, up 7-0. Reggie is a Cleveland veteran. He knows about that hawk off Lake Erie. Chicago against Tampa Bay on the board. Kansas City leading Denver. That's a big game for the Chiefs, who have faint playoff hopes remaining. Minnesota and Green Bay. Well, Indianapolis under their new coach has tied Atlanta 7-7, while Pittsburgh and Philadelphia get field goals to open the scoring in their games.
The pressure in a game like this has to be on the Saints because they're not a passing football team. They can't score points as fast as Miami.
We have 47 seconds left in the first quarter with that 14-7 score. Tice is in motion and pitched to Mays. The penalty took the ball all the way back to the 11, and Mays gets just about to the line of scrimmage, perhaps a yard, before Mike Charles, the nose tackle, and John Offerdahl, that outstanding rookie inside linebacker, combined to make the hit. Reuben Mays, 4.8 yards per carry. And, of course, you notice that's better than the great Eric Dickerson, and trailing only James Brooks of the Bengals. Wilson. Pass is incomplete. Hobie Brenner made a diving attempt, but couldn't come up with it. It'll be third down. Third and long coming up for the Saints.
So that's a pass that should have been caught, but that's what a high-powered offense does to the opponent. It forces you into mistakes. You know you have to be very, very fine in your execution. You cannot afford to make any mistakes. Here it is again, going to the right side of your screen. You'll see Brenner, number 85, who should have caught that football, does not come up with it, forces the Saints into a third and long passing situation.
Nickel defense in for the Dolphins. 3rd and 8 here for the Saints from their own 12. Screen pass, complete to Jordan. Short of the first down, out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. David Fry, the outside linebacker, getting a start today, coming up to stop Jordan shy of the first down. So that's the end of the first quarter of play at the Superdome in New Orleans, with the Dolphins leading the Saints 14-7. Has picked off his 8th interception of the season. And he brings it back as a flag goes down to the 43-yard line. Marino sailed it up, and he didn't have a Dolphin within 10 yards.
Marino was counting on Mark Duper to make a sight adjustment, because when Marino saw the extra defensive back, he knew he had man-to-man coverage. Duper did not continue the pattern. Duper ran the pattern to the sideline, and he crossed Marino, and he knows he's wrong.
See them conferring right there. Meanwhile, Dave Waymer, who made the interception, his 8th interception of the season, was shaken up as he brought it back upfield. The officials trying to sort things out. The Dolphin offense has not left the field.
Penalties declined. Personal foul, number 99 against the quarterback. First down.
So Waymer's interception will be wiped off, as Jim Mora and his Saints cannot believe their luck here. Tony Elliott called for roughing Marino.
All right, Tony Elliott, on the right side of your screen, number 99. Marino lets the ball go. Elliott hits him right in the face. You can't do that. The leg is trying now to crack down on that unnecessary kind of play. I think the officials were justified in throwing a flag there.
Saw that Elliott went right to the face of Marino, and it wipes out the interception by the Saints and gives the Dolphins a first down at the New Orleans 45-yard line. Hampton. First down to the 32-yard line. Lorenzo Hampton behind good blocking, carrying it for another Dolphin first down. Cincinnati must-win game for the Bengals, 7-0 on New England. Cleveland clings to the lead over Buffalo. Denver and Kansas City now tied 3-3. Pittsburgh shutting out Detroit, as Marino has a first down at the 32 of New Orleans. Hampton picks his way inside the 30 down to about the 27-yard line.
Notice now on first down, the Dolphins are running the football. That's because there are 5 and 6 defensive backs, and on first down, the absence of 4 linebackers, people who are paid to tackle running backs in the National Football League. Now Shula goes to the opposite strategy. Run the football against the nickel and pass it against the regular defense.
See his regular season record, and overall, counting the playoffs, 261 wins for him. The only coach to reach the Super Bowl 3 straight years. 2nd and 5. Marino under pressure completes it to Hardy. He's got a first down to the 15 of the Saints, where Frank Watlet covers him. The Dolphins scoring on their first 2 possessions, and helped here by the roughing penalty to keep this drive alive. Advance it to the Saint 15.
Nothing's working for the Saints. Now they try to blitz. No, you can't do that against Marino. It gets rid of the ball too quickly. Top of your screen. You see Hardy there, one-on-one coverage. It's not even close. Another first down for the Dolphins. This is a dilemma for the Saints. Nothing that they can do is right, obviously.
And their one good defensive play, the interception, wiped out by a roughing penalty. Bennett and Hampton, the running backs. Marino will go to the air. That one's picked off. No. Did they get it or not? Incomplete. It'll be ruled incomplete, intended for Duper. Johnny Poe had a shot at it, couldn't hold it.
And is that, if I'm not mistaken, that is the first incomplete pass officially of the game.
Right, because the one interception wiped out for the penalty. First Dolphin misfire. Second and 10 for Miami. (11 of 12 for 103 yards already for Marino. Bennett picking his way inside the 5-yard line. Vaughn Johnson stopped him, but Woody Bennett showing us some good running ability, tough running to pick up a Dolphin first down.
On that left side, where Jeff Dellenbach is filling in for John Giesler today, Roy Foster pulls number 61. Good block on Jim Wilkes. Woody Bennett with that strong style of his, straight up the field, first down.
Good blocking by the offensive line of the Dolphins. First and goal for Miami at the 4-yard line, and inside the 20, they are deadly. The Saints, when they get inside the 20, don't play defense quite as well. Marino, touchdown to Hardy. Bruce Hardy with a touchdown catch right inside the goal line, and Miami strikes again. Marino with another touchdown pass. He has missed on only 1 pass today, and the drive kept alive by the penalty results in a Miami touchdown.
Watch the play action faking. They make the defense think that it's a run. The tight end slips in behind the linebackers. Good catch. Touchdown number 3.
Bruce Hardy, the 9-year veteran from Arizona State, had their 4th boy born just last month, the 8th of November. Matthew, his name. Reveiz adds the extra point, and Miami adds to its lead. 11:34 remaining in the first half of play at the Superdome, and the Dolphins lead the Saints. Another touchdown drive, 6 plays, 61 yards, and this is what New Orleans couldn't afford to get into, a high-scoring game.
Anytime you get involved with trying to outscore Marino, you better have the weapons on your side of the ball to do it with, and I don't think the Saints have that.
80 yards, 57 yards, 61 yards. The Miami offense has been nearly perfect today. Reuben Mays in to return this kickoff from the goal line. Gets outside and out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. So they've got Mays returning the kickoffs now. He was stopped by Mike Smith of the Dolphins, as the Saints need to get something on the board here.
Even though the score is 21-7 Miami, the Saints have played very well. They've only had that one play, the penalty on Tony Elliott, that is the difference in this ball game.
The penalty by Elliott wiped out an interception and kept that last touchdown drive by Miami alive. We've seen only 1 punt in the game. The Saints have punted once. 11:24 to play in the first half. 21-7 Miami. Wilson has time and completes it to the 30 to Mays. Mays takes it for another yard or so and totaled about 7-8 yards on the play. Dave Wilson, the starting quarterback of the Saints, and the fans here have been clamoring for Bobby Hebert, the Louisiana native, the 2-year veteran out of Northwest Louisiana, who started the season for the Saints, then was injured. Wilson took over, and Coach Jim Morris says they're very, very close, and he doesn't want to replace Wilson with Hebert just because Hebert now is healthy. Plowing straight ahead, Reuben Mays, close to the first down.
I think the one thing that New Orleans needs to do now is they need to get Reuben Mays running the football to keep that ball away from Dan Marino. Keep the Saints on the field for some time. Let their offense get in gear. Reuben Mays, 5 rushes, 34 yards.
And the last one good for a Saint first down. First down New Orleans at the Saint 36-yard line. Wilson will go to the air. Wide open across the middle is Mike Jones. Jones to the 20 and out of bounds. William Judson made the saving tackle, but a 44-yard strike from Wilson to Jones.
Let's take a look at the secondary coverage against the Saints. Top of your screen, you'll see about the 50-yard line. Mike Jones coming across on the run. Good receiver. Doesn't have the blazing speed of the Claytons or Dupers, but good possession player. Makes the catch. 44-yard pickup. Saints are back in business.
Jones, the top receiver on this Saint team, has given him a first down at the Dolphin 19. Wilson, another completion. This one to Harris. Harris gets about 8 yards. Herbert Harris, the free agent who played in the USFL for Mora, gets the first down. Glenn Blackwood stopped him. Cincinnati and Cleveland in that battle in the AFC Central, still leading in their respective games. Denver and Kansas City still deadlocked at 3. Chicago's increased its lead over Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh by 3. St. Louis and Philadelphia tied up. And Atlanta 14-7 over the Colts. Pitch to Mays. Tries to turn the corner. Nice defensive play over there. Coming up to make the stop was the rookie Renee Thompson, and he kept Mays from getting the first down.
Renee Thompson is a player that had been cut earlier by the Dolphins, went home to Texas. Don Shula called him, said, "We need you back." He didn't believe it at first, but he believes it now, as you see on the right side of your screen. Number 24, Renee Thompson, stops the outstanding rookie Reuben Mays.
Thompson, a rookie out of Baylor. He said Shula's call came early in the morning, and he was about half asleep and didn't believe it was him. Shula finally convinced him, yes, this is Coach Shula, and we need you back. He's a starter now for the Dolphins. 3rd and 1. Wilson's pass incomplete through the hands of the intended receiver, Mike Jones. Glenn Blackwood covering on the play. The pass a little tall, but Jones probably should have caught it.
Of course, you're going to get calls from the fans to go for it, but I don't think this is the point in the game to risk that. You've got Morton Anderson, who's an offensive weapon in himself. Kick 3 points, put something on the board, stay in the game, and maybe look for a turnover when Miami gets the football.
Tops in accuracy in the NFL with that 88.5%. That is 23 of 26 field goals. This one about 27 yards. And it's good. So Morton Anderson splits the uprights to get the Saints 3 points closer defensively.
They're quite capable. They're second in the league. Takeaways is the ability of one football team to take the ball away from the other via fumbles and interceptions. They need one coming up.
Ellis and Pruitt are deep for Miami this time. And it'll be Ellis 1 yard deep. And he'll be stopped at the 15-yard line. So good coverage that time by the Saints special teams. Pat Swilling leading the charge for New Orleans, the rookie out of Georgia Tech.
Jim Mora's Saints are between a rock and a hard place because he can't stop the Dolphins from passing on first down with a regular defense. And when he has put in his 5 and 6 defensive backs on first and second down, the Dolphins have run the football very successfully with Lorenzo Hampton. So what do? I don't know. If I did, I'd be down there coaching instead of Jim Mora.
Mora will deploy his defense here as the Dolphins, leading 21-10, put it in play on first down from their own 15. Marino had plenty of time, finally spotted a receiver open short. It's Lorenzo Hampton who takes it to the 20-yard line. Sam Mills stopped him there. And Marino has missed on only one pass today. And here's another completion as we look at the replay.
Watch the time that Dan Marino has. But he doesn't panic. He's looking around for people. And you see Ricky Jackson there on the left of the screen being blocked well. And watch him pursue.
Jackson got a piece of the tackle even though he'd been blocked out of the play initially.
He's not giving up.
5-yard gain. It's 2nd and 5 for the Dolphins. Ball at the Miami 20. Another completion. This one is to Bruce Hardy, who caught a touchdown pass a moment ago. A little bit more pressure on Marino, but that quick release, he got it away.
That's Shula talking to Dan Johnson, who caught a touchdown pass.
It is a first down for Miami as Shula sends Johnson on with a play. He'll replace Hardy. Spot the ball at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins, who lead the Saints 21-10. 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half from the Superdome. Hampton to the 29-yard line. Got 3 yards. Antonio Gibson and Sam Mills combining on the stop. Mills is an interesting story, Reggie. Only 5'9", 225 pounds. He's like a fire plug. He played in the Canadian Football League. He played for Jim Mora in the USFL and led Mora's team in tackles 2 straight years.
I played with him 1 year in preseason, my last year in professional football, and I thought the Cleveland Browns should have kept Mills, and he's done quite well.
Bennett stopped shy of the 35-yard line by Dave Waymer and company. And he'll be short of the first down. 3rd down coming up for the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are doing a fine job with their offensive line. You can't ask an offensive line to do any more than the Dolphins are doing today. They're blocking well for Marino, and they're opening good holes for Bennett and Lorenzo Hampton.
3rd and 2. Duper, Moore, Pruitt, and Clayton, 4 wide receivers in for the Dolphins, who have the best 3rd down conversion record in the NFL. Tony Nathan is the lone setback behind Marino. Big 3rd down play. Complete. First down, Dolphins. Nat Moore. No, it was Nat Moore that made the catch. And finally, before he was stopped, the Dolphins had picked up another first down.
That's an impossible formation to stop for 3 yards. You have Dutton and Clapper. Nathan out of the backfield. Okay, let's watch the protection here. Ronnie Lee, good blocking by Stevenson on Tony Elliott, keeping him away from Dan Marino.
Elliott called for roughing Marino a couple of moments ago. Does that take a little of the fire away from him?
I think it might.
Nat Moore, Mr. Dependable, makes the catch, and the Dolphins with another first down. Again, they work it over the middle to Hampton out of the backfield, who dives forward into Saints territory, and another Dolphin first down. Johnny Poe covered him, but out of the backfield, they have been deadly. How are they able to get under that coverage so easily, Reggie?
Well, because the Saints linebackers are more concerned with the outside threat, the quick strike ability of Duper and Clayton, and they have to get back to help the defensive backs. And when they do that, Hampton just slips out the backfield and pulls up short. Marino, boom, hits him.
From the Saint 49, first down Dolphins. Marino goes long, wide open, and overshoots the intended receiver, Mark Duper. Antonio Gibson and Johnny Poe were beaten on the play. Duper was 10 yards behind them.
And with all of the short passing success Marino is having, he has lulled the Saints cornerbacks to sleep. They're looking into the backfield. They're watching. They've almost become mesmerized. Watch Poe looking into the backfield. He knows that there's been a lot of short passes. Now he settles down. Boom. Good move by Duper up top. Wide open for 6 points. You won't see Marino miss one like that often.
2nd and 10 now for the Dolphins. Duper goes out of the game. Nat Moore is in to replace him. On the ground to Hampton. Gets the outside. Run out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. Brett Maxey took him out of bounds. Short of the first down by a couple of yards. The Giants on the board first in that big game at RFK Stadium in Washington. Broncos and the Chiefs still tied up. Chicago extends its lead. And not much change in those scores. Duper, Moore, Pruitt, and Clayton, 4 wide receivers, along with Tony Nathan in the game for the Dolphins, who face a 3rd and 2. Well, Dan Marino was frantically signaling to some of his members of the offense. Didn't get what he wanted. I guess time was running out, so he calls a timeout to stop the clock with the Dolphins leading.
One of the only 2 people in this game that can do that, Eric Dickerson being the other player that can dominate a football game from his position. But Dan Marino from the quarterback position is not only exciting, but a pleasure to watch as he runs this pass offense of the Miami Dolphins.
16 of 18 for Marino this afternoon. Third and 2. Quick completion for the first down. It's Nat Moore that takes it for another Dolphin first down. Brett Maxey covered him, but you just can't stop him.
There are too many people to cover. You can't double cover all the receivers that the Dolphins run against you. Somebody has to be open, and then it's usually Nat Moore or Tony Nathan that will pick up those little 3rd and 3 situations to continue the drive.
Dan Marino has passed for over 400 yards 6 times in his career to tie Dan Fouts for the NFL record. At this rate, he is going to have a record-breaking afternoon. From the 37, a Dolphin first down. Hampton outruns a linebacker and takes it for about 9 yards, close to the first down. Mills and Poe had to run him out of the field, the playing field right at the sideline, but another nice move by Hampton.
There isn't any substitute for athletic ability. Lorenzo Hampton has it in abundance. He took a quick pass from Marino, what looked like a sure loss in the backfield, spun around to the outside, and using his speed, picked up a first down.
Did get right to the first down marker, a Dolphin first down. Hampton has caught 54 passes this season. Not only the leading running back, but one of their top receivers, ranks 3rd on the team. 26-yard line and a first down. This one incomplete. It was intended for Mark Clayton and kind of behind him. Mills was in the area covering for the Saints.
If you watch Marino, he's constantly pointing and showing people and coaching on the field. That's excellent. That's what you want from a quarterback. I think a quarterback should take charge of everybody on the football team. Show that leadership quality, and he has it. They respect him.
Reggie, what about when you came back to the huddle and a quarterback chewed you out? How did that affect you? Did it fire you up, or did you get a little angry?
I told him, don't do that. No, sometimes it fired me up, made me want to produce for my quarterback.
Marino's pass deflected and intercepted. Intercepted by Gibson. No, they say now incomplete. He trapped it. Bruce Hardy was the intended receiver. It was batted around. Gibson made a stab at it, but couldn't come up with it.
The Saints need one of those desperately. We talked about how good the Saints were coming into this ball game at picking off passes and forcing fumbles. This ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage by Bruce Clark. Gibson, had the ball right in his arm.
Just
should
went
have
through
held
his
on.
hands, did it?
Yes.
Just went right through his hands.
That's what you expect from defensive backs.
He's got his right hand taped, as you see. His hand is taped up, his thumb there, and perhaps that affected his ability to catch the football.
He's a good player, though. I think probably the best athlete in that secondary.
3rd and 10 for the Dolphins. Marino being chased and lets it fly incomplete. That time, Reggie, they got pressure on Marino. It'll bring up 4th down, and Fuad Reveiz will come on to attempt the field goal.
That's 2 good plays by the young man from Penn State, number 75, Bruce Clark. He tipped the pass earlier. Now watch number 75, Bruce Clark, forced Marino to get rid of that ball before he had a receiver open.
44-yard field goal attempt by Reveiz, who has hit on 10 of 18 field goals this year, his longest 52 yards. And this one is good. Reveiz hits it from 44 yards. So Miami gets the field goal back that they surrendered to the Saints the last time New Orleans had the ball. And they up their lead to 24-10, still with 3 minutes 53 seconds remaining in the first half of play.
That's what I was talking about earlier when we talked about Marino being points explosive. When he gets into these drives and he gets his rhythm down, he puts points on the board on every drive, every possession of the football.
Well, don't forget, we'll be picking a Budweiser Most Valuable Player in today's game. That comes up at the conclusion of the contest, and one of the primary candidates in your screen right there, number 13, Dan Marino. A little disappointed he had to settle for a field goal that time.
You can bet that Don Shula is doing some evaluating as he finishes the 86 season and prepares for 1987. There has to be some weeding out done on this football team to put it back where it once was. They have a defense that has given up an inordinate number of points this year, and that's the one area that Shula is very concerned with, points. You can give up all the yardage and statistics you want, but if you give up too many points, you can't win football games.
That last drive of the Dolphins covered 59 yards in 14 plays, consumed 5 minutes 8 seconds, and resulted in an officially 43-yard field goal by Fuad Reveiz. There's Reveiz, who's set to kick it off for the Dolphins. And Gray is deep for the Saints. Gray averaging 27.7 second in average return yardage. Takes this one 3 yards deep. Gray, running room, up the middle. Reveiz stops him at the 35-yard line. Well, that's twice today we've seen the kickers get a tackle on a breakaway. Reveiz stopped him after 38 yards. Earlier, Morton Anderson was called in to stop Ellis.
This is an explosive little kick runner, 160 pounds of courage. Watch him blow through that hole. Good blocking. Now, if he could only get away from Reveiz, this would be better his earlier kickoff return for 101 yards.
Draw play, Reuben Mays across the 35 to the 37, not much there. Got a yard, perhaps. Mike Charles, the nose tackle of the Dolphins, stacking things up there in the center of the line, 6'4", 287. There's a look at Gray, who returned that kickoff 38 yards. Mel Gray, a first-year player out of Purdue, a free agent who came over from the USFL. 5 defensive backs in for the Dolphins on 2nd and 11. About 10.5 to be precise. Wilson, great catch. Mike Jones makes the grab with Blackwood and Brown all over him, and he has a Saint first down. It covered 24 yards.
Very good throw by Dave Wilson. He threw that football into coverage, but Mike Jones at 5'11" gets up in the air, makes the concentration on the football, and comes up with the catch. Look at him, between 2 people, high in the air, both hands on the football. That's the way it should be done. Big play.
Jones scored 40 touchdowns in his college career at Tennessee State. Gives the Saints a first down at the 41 of Miami. Swing it to Wayne Wilson, and Wilson is stopped for a loss on the play. David Fry, the outside linebacker, smelled that one out and came up to make the stop. The Redskins have tied the Giants in Washington. Cincinnati continues to lead. Buffalo's on the board at Cleveland, against Cleveland, playing in Buffalo. Kansas City now 10-3 over Denver. And you see the rest of the scores in progress in the NFL as we come to the 2-minute warning. We've reached the 2-minute warning at the Superdome in New Orleans, with Miami leading New Orleans 24-10.
We're not a company.
But the turnovers have been killing the Saints. The two last week cost them the game, the fumble by Wilson and the block punt. 1:41 to play, 2nd and 6. Hardy and Johnson, two tight ends for Miami. Marino delivers. Incomplete, intended for Hardy. Johnny Poe covering Hardy on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down for Miami.
Shows you how much confidence Don Shula has in Dan Marino. He threw that pass standing in his own end zone and threw it very well. Bruce Hardy sometimes makes those catches. Didn't come up with that one.
Shula's squad facing a 3rd and 6. Clayton, Pruitt, Moore, and Duper. Wide receivers all in the game, along with Tony Nathan, who'll be the lone setback. The ball at the 6-yard line of Miami with 1:36 to play in the first half.
It's nice to have
Marino keeps it on the ground, and the give is to Tony Nathan. Nathan is to the 10-yard line, but short of the first down, where Ricky Jackson stops him. And the Saints stop the clock again with a timeout. So that is their 2nd timeout. They have 1 timeout left in this first half. Hope you'll stay with us at halftime. NFL 86 with scores and highlights of all the games in action. And on hand, Steve Spurrier and Archie Griffin. Spurrier won the Heisman Trophy when he played at the University of Florida, and Griffin won it, I believe, twice at Ohio State. They'll talk about the Heisman Trophy, which was won yesterday to the surprise of absolutely no one by Benny Testaverde of the Miami Hurricanes. And we remind you, too, or Ken Edmondson, our producer, will be after us. The Fiesta Bowl, January 2nd, will have Testaverde and the Hurricanes against the Nittany Lions of Penn State to decide the national championship. 8 o'clock Eastern time on NBC. Ken Edmondson will be producing that game, as he is our game at the Superdome today. Preceding was a paid political announcement. To see just how high-powered that offense has been. Look at the results. 100 yards rushing, only 42 for the Saints, 22 first downs to 8 for New Orleans. And Marino, 21 of 28 passing. Wilson not having that bad a day, 10 of 19 for 158 yards, but he's had some drops.
As you look at the stats, I think the most important one was the 2 turnovers by the New Orleans Saints that took them out of a competitive ball game.
Reves kicks it off, and it's taken by Harris. Harris is up to the 20-yard line, where he's stacked up by the white-shirted Dolphin defenders. The special teams coverage led that time by Dan Johnson, the reserve tight end, who has a touchdown grab to his credit today.
You ask me, what does New Orleans do to get back into the football game? I think the first order of business is to take the football now at the start of the second half, drive it and score. That way they'll get back into this ball game. They have to send the Dolphins a message right now that they haven't quit. Remember the way the game began. The Dolphins took the opening kick and scored. New Orleans came right back to drive 80 yards and score. Reuben Mays. Mays takes it across the 30 for a first down. Bud Brown, the free safety, makes the stop. And so Jim Mora and company saying, even though we're down 31-10, let's go to our main offensive weapon, Reuben Mays. That's right. You said it. The principal attack person in this offense has to be Mays. Good blocking, stutter step on the other side. Look at Chuck Comiskey looking for people to block. Does make a good block, number 66 right there. Reuben Mays picks up the first down.
Mays had 157 yards a week ago against New England. And gets the call again on this first down play. Takes a couple of tough hits and falls forward shy of the 40-yard line. Offerdahl and Brown sandwiching him. But he got a gain on the play of about 6 yards.
I think obviously Jim Mora, you take a look at the graphic there, Jim Mora is trying to establish control of this game once again. There he is with the headset on and no cap. That's Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator, with the cap on. The way you establish control is you gain control of the football game by running it.
Wilson will go to the air this time, and he's sacked. The first sack of the game is credited to George Little. That's his third of the season. Little, the 2-year veteran from Iowa, 6'4", 278 pounds, and he collapsed on Wilson that time.
One of the few mistakes Dave Wilson has made today. You can't hold this football when you're down by as many points as the Saints are. You have to throw the football away. There's no one open. Just throw it away. Don't take a sack like this and lose that kind of yardage.
Appeared that he looked at his primary receiver, a secondary receiver, tried to pick out a third, and when he was covered, he just should have thrown it away, but he took the loss, and it sets up a 3rd and 11. It's complete right at the first down marker to Herbert Harris. It'll depend on where they spot the football. William Judson on the coverage for the Dolphins, and it's right at the first down marker.
I thought they got a bad spot by the official. He appeared to have another half yard. He may have picked it up nonetheless, but it wasn't a good spot. All right, now here you go. Dave Wilson looking out to the left for Harris. Good protection right there. Hilgenberg keeping Martin away. Now watch it. Looks like his knee is right there on the 42, but they give him a spot at about the 41.
Chains across from the far side of the field to stretch out and see if the Saints did get the first down. It's 3rd down, so this is a critical measurement for New Orleans, trying to get back in the game. Down 31-10 in the opening seconds, opening minutes.
Just did get it.
Of the 3rd quarter. So by inches, the Saints keep their drive going. And while they take the chains back across, we'll update you on the score. Still 14-7 in Washington. The Bengals leading 7-0, and 14-10 Cleveland. Those two are staying neck and neck in the AFC Central. Denver, Kansas City, a 10-10 game. Doug Flutie is in action for the Bears as they have a big lead in their game. Wilson's got his man. It's Tice. Tice has a first down and rambles to the 35-yard line of the Dolphins. Fry and Brown caught up with Tice, but he took the first down pass from Wilson for 23 yards.
The best pass play all day long in the Saints offense has been that crossing pattern. The Dolphins are dropping into that deep zone, protecting that lead of theirs. There's Wilson patiently waiting for Tice to clear the linebacker. Picks up another big gainer. They're making huge yardage on those crossing patterns.
Spot the ball at the 34-yard line of Miami, where New Orleans has a first down. Reuben Mays on the pitch. Gets a block on the corner. Touchdown! From 34 yards puts the Saints on the board. The Saints, on their opening drive of the 3rd quarter, get a touchdown, and Buford Jordan was the man that put a good block on the corner to enable Mays to get outside.
Look at those statistics by Reuben Mays. Drafted in the 3rd round. Has to be the most surprising performance from a 3rd rounder this year. Averaging 8 yards a carry in this ball game.
And Morton Anderson gets the extra point, so the Saints score on their first possession to make it 31-17. Marino's pass is a floater, incomplete. I think batted away at the line of scrimmage. So the Saint defense does its job, and now New Orleans about to get the ball back as they fight to get back in the game. Dana McLemore will go deep for the Saints as Roby is on to punt on 4th down.
The last time Roby punted, the Saints came very close to getting near Roby. Let's see if they don't go for the football. It would be a big play right now if they could block this punt.
They're coming. And Roby got it away. A line drive kick. McLemore at his 19.
There's going to be a clip there.
Flags all over the place. 3 flags down. An obvious clip right when McLemore caught the ball. And a pretty good return is going to be nullified by a senseless block. He was already by that man.
One thing you're taught ever since Little League is if you can see the numbers of the man, if you can see the numbers on his back, don't touch him. Brett Maxey agonizing because he knows it was a foolish attempt at a block.
Jim Mora says, what else can happen? Just when they had the momentum going, another mistake, a key mistake, could cost them. Roby's punt covered 55 yards.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 39 on the receiving team. First down. Time is out.
Well, they called it illegal use of the hands, but it's still a costly penalty against the Saints, who will have the ball when we come back, down 31-17. He knows he did it. Oh. McLemore takes a pretty good shot, too, as flags were flying everywhere. More laundry on the field than on some of those residents of Bourbon Street we saw last night. Ruben Mays gets outside. Big gainer to the 45-yard line where Bud Brown chases him out of bounds. 32-yard run by Ruben Mays. 6 times this season, over 100.
You see how important your first drive in the second half is? You establish the momentum in the second half, and you show something to the opponent. We're not giving up. Watch Comiskey, number 66, leading Ruben Mays. I've always wondered how 300-pounders run right along with speed.
He did.
Well, he outran him eventually, but Ruben Mays has the hot hand for the Saints right now.
120 yards already, and we're 10.5 in the third quarter. This is Buford Jordan who gets the call to give Mays a little blow, and he takes it for about 3 or 4 yards. John Offerdahl got a piece of the tackle. Excuse me.
Ruben Mays is also so smooth. He looks effortless as he gets on the outside. And I think that's one of the things that's deceiving about Ruben Mays is the way he glides, and he has very deceptive speed. This man can outrun people. Mays
just taken in the 3rd round. He said in college they ran the veer offense, and that the scouts didn't see the things he could do, the instinctive moves he could make, the blocking he could do, the pass receiving. That's why he wasn't taken to the 3rd round. He was a real find. Here he is again. That time he stacked up after 2 yards.
Remember this also, he's still a Canadian citizen, and he grew up playing an inferior brand of high school football, which is why Jim Mora said as he plays and as he experiences this level of competition, he'll be better.
Big 3rd down play coming up for the New Orleans Saints. 3rd and 4 with the ball just shy of midfield at the Saint 49-yard line. Wilson, pass too high, intended for Hobie Brenner. Overshot him. Jackie Shipp was right there covering him, but another pass that could have been caught.
Dave Wilson has to make those plays. I think that ball was not thrown well. I think Wilson knows it. He should have put that ball where Tice could have had it, picked up an easy first down, keep this drive going. Such a great run by Ruben Mays was wasted that time.
Brian Hansen will punt on 4th down for the Saints. His first one covered 44 yards. And Ellis got nothing on his return. Short snap, a fake. First down. Del Rio takes it for a first down at the Dolphins' 45-yard line. Jack Del Rio, the reserve linebacker, 2-year veteran out of Southern California. He carried it 16 yards for the first down before Kozlowski could make the stop. That's a play we saw them practice on yesterday.
That tells you something about Jim Mora's head being in the football game. We talked about Mora matching X's and O's with Don Shula. Excellent coaching call right here. Dolphins truly expecting the Saints to punt. Jack Del Rio, now look at him try to make a move right there and take it all away, but he doesn't do it. Picks up a big first down.
I think he ran it even better than he did in practice yesterday. Mays looking for room. Not much there. John Offerdahl makes the stop. There's Del Rio. He's Bobby Hebert's roommate. There's been a lot of grumbling between those two about lack of playing time, but he picks up a key first down on that carry.
I think after you have a big play like that, Tom, the crowd's behind you, you got to come out and you have to throw the ball deep. You have to look for the big play, the crowd insider, to put everybody back into the game, keep the momentum on your side. Now he's forced to throw the football.
Mays got 3 yards on that last carry. It's 2nd and 7 from the Dolphin 32. Wide open was Brenner, and Wilson missed him. Brenner was wide open inside the 30, and Wilson couldn't find him.
One thing you like for professional quarterbacks to do is be able to rise to the level of the competition. Wilson is not throwing the football well right now, and this is when they need him.
This pass just into the turf, short of the intended receiver. 3rd down and 7 for the Saints, who trail the Dolphins 31-17 with 7:38 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And remember, that one pattern that the Saints have been successful with is that crossing pattern.
5 defensive backs in for the Dolphins. Wilson goes deep. Incomplete, intended for Mike Jones in the end zone. He had double coverage. Judson was the man that made a stab at the interception.
Mike Jones was well covered on that play. Wilson was hurried. I think the man that was wide open was number 80, Herbert Harrison, coming back underneath that pattern, but Wilson decided to go for it all. Down at the bottom of your screen now, you see number 86 go inside. You'll see number 80 come back across the field wide open. And here's Mike Jones. 3 Dolphins right there.
Morton Anderson to try a 50-yard field goal. And it's no good. Off to the left as Anderson looked at it. And so the Saints come up empty after the fake punt got them a crucial first down. Still quarter, and the Dolphins with a first down. Marino off the hand of the intended receiver, Mark Duper. Pass a little behind him.
That's a pass you expect Mark Duper to hang on to, though.
It'll bring up 2nd down for the Dolphins. A recheck of the scores. Giants now up 10 on the Redskins. Cincinnati adds to its lead, and Cleveland still by 4 over the Bills. Kansas City 17-10 over Denver. Doug Flutie in action, and the Bears flanking the Bucks. As you see the remainder of the score. Marino. This one complete for a first down. Complete to Clayton. Johnny Poe takes him down, but Clayton made the first down reception.
Dan Marino rolled left on that play, threw 30 yards across his body. Watch the deep secondary. Top of your screen, you can see how deep the cornerbacks play on these wide receivers. Now Clayton comes back to the football. Only Marino can make a play like that.
It covered 14 yards. Clayton came into today's game needing 75 to go over 1,000 for the season. Duper already over 1,000. First down at the Saint 46, or the Dolphin 46, excuse me.
He dropped that ball.
We'll see how they rule it. Duper, did he trap it? Did he catch it?
I think instant replay, if they use it, will show that he did drop this football.
Still no ruling.
We won't see it from this angle. You see something bounce right there, but I saw it.
And they will rule it incomplete.
Watch this angle here, top of the screen. There it is right there. And then you see the ball fall right out.
Looked like his hand came down first, and then the ball came down as well. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins. Nathan eluded one tackler and took it into Saint territory to the 49-yard line. Frank Warren, reserve nose tackle, responsible for the hit there. Lorenzo Hampton picking up about 5 yards.
The key for Dan Marino is that all day long he has never really had 3rd and 9 or 10 or more. He has always had 2nd and 6, 7, 3rd and 3 and 4. And with the offense that they're running, those short passes out of the backfield, it's almost impossible to stop those people from catching the pass for 3 or 4 yards.
Double wide receivers to either side. Marino is hit just as he released the ball, and Nathan couldn't hang on to it. Ricky Jackson was there with Nathan, and Warren was putting the pressure on Marino. In fact, 73 Warren hit him just as he released the ball.
That was a big play by Frank Warren. Watch it. It'll go to the left of your screen. Tony Nathan is going to come over if Marino has just a second more time, but he doesn't, and he knows it because Warren is right there, and even still, Nathan had the ball against his chest, couldn't hold on to it.
Good pressure by Warren. Dana McLemore will receive Reggie Roby's kick. There's McLemore standing at his 10. Trying to get this big crowd back into it. A near sellout, about 700 tickets short of a sellout, right at 69,000. Again, a wobbly snap, but Roby gets it off, and a sailing kick. They'll try to down it, and it'll reach the end zone for the touchback. So Roby's kick makes the end zone, and the New Orleans Saints will put the ball in play from their 20 as we come back. 6:08 to play third quarter.
The pass is dropped on him. I don't think Miami can afford right now to become conservative. And the Saints, they have to use Mays and throw the football deep.
Here's Mays. That's the pitch they've been using effectively, and the Dolphins defense it well. Mays only gets 2 yards. George Little, the defensive end, fought his way outside to stop Mays.
I think one thing that the Miami defense is confident with is that they don't feel the Saints have a wide receiver that can beat them deep, that can really threaten them deep. So therefore, they're willing to give up the short passes and play defense and keep everything in front of them and hope to contain Ruben Mays.
Mays got 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8. A lot of shifting there in the offense for New Orleans. Tice comes to the left side, and now Jones in motion. Here's Mays. Made a little move to get outside, and he's going to come up about 2 yards short of the first down. David Fry and Glenn Blackwood forcing Mays out of bounds.
Ruben Mays is giving those Dolphin linebackers a workout. Watch it now, coming to the bottom of your screen.
And he's chased out of bounds, which means that it'll be 3rd and 2 for the Saints. Mays up to 134 yards on the day. 31-17, Miami lead with 5:20 to play in the third quarter. Flags down. Mays has the first down. It looked like Miami might have been offside. George Little jumped just before the snap, and so the 5-yard penalty will give New Orleans a first down. Chuck Studley, the embattled defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins.
Brought a philosophy to the Dolphins that was somewhat different from what the Dolphins had been used to playing defensively. Dolphins were primarily a zone defense in past years. Studley has always been a man-to-man pressure kind of a defense. Maybe philosophically, it's taken some time for the Dolphin players to adjust to his style of play.
Is it difficult to adjust from one season to another to a different scheme?
I think so, no question about it, particularly defensively.
Wilson goes deep. Herbert Harris drew double coverage downfield and unable to catch up to the football. Bud Brown and Renee Thompson had him covered well. Harris, the first-year player out of Lamar, who played in the USFL. He had 4 receptions coming into today. Made a big catch in the first half, remember, and then fumbled then at the Dolphin 2-yard line.
The reason why the Dolphins cannot afford just to disregard the run is because of the presence of Reuben Mays, who can outrun that secondary.
2nd and 10, 5 defensive backs for the Dolphins. Mays surrounded and run out of bounds. Bud Brown led the defensive charge for the Dolphins, and where Mays was getting outside earlier, the Dolphins seem to be respecting that play a lot more, and they've kept him under containment here the last few times.
Well, the key to running outside, as you look to the right of your screen, is the block at the end of the line of scrimmage. Are those people being contained? Now, that wasn't such a good block that time by Chuck Comiskey on John Offerdahl. Therefore, Offerdahl got outside, contained Mays, and the play wasn't successful.
3rd and 5 for the Saints. They're at their own 38-yard line, trailing 31-17. 6 defensive backs in the game for the Dolphins. Wilson under pressure completes it right at the first down marker. The catch made by Mike Jones, and they'll see if they mark it enough for the first down. They do. Mike Smith hit him and drove him back, but forward progress enough for the first down. Heads up play by Jones, knowing how much he needed to get the first down.
Good experience move by Mike Jones, who, we told you before, spent some time with the Minnesota Vikings, has good hands, knew exactly where he was on the field. Now I think is when you have to look to getting something deep. You have to have somebody on that offensive formation that can threaten the defense deep.
From the Saint 44, New Orleans with a first down. Mays still on his feet and is covered just shy of the 30-yard line. Once they get him past the line of scrimmage, he is very, very explosive.
Very slippery runner, very instinctive. He moves and he glides, and he has that outstanding speed. Look at those statistics for today.
That one was 22 yards as he asked to come out of the game to get his breath.
All right, number 36. Good block by center Steve Court, number 60. Buford Jordan with another outstanding block. You saw that off-balance move by Mays. Good balance, continuing to pick up yardage.
First down, New Orleans at the 34 of Miami. 3:10 to play in the third quarter. Miami leads 31-17. Buford Jordan plows straight ahead. Takes it inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line, taking Jackie Shipp and Bud Brown along with him. Inside 3 minutes to play in the quarter.
You take a look at George Little, number 99 on the Dolphins defensive line, and Mike Charles, some of those big people that weigh over 280 pounds. It's very warm inside the Superdome. That offensive line is beginning to take its toll on that three-man front, and therefore the Saints are beginning to rack up the yards rushing.
High formation. Dalton Hilliard is the tailback. Buford Jordan the fullback. This is Jordan. Dives inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. Again, that offensive line opened up a big hole for Jordan. And he appears to be shaken up. Jordan is hurt. And we'll take a look at the scores. That big game, the Giants against Washington. The Giants had more to gain here, more incentive perhaps, and I'm surprised at the margin of score. 24-7 now. Many think Washington playing the best football of any team in the NFL, and the Giants putting it to them at RFK Stadium. Cincinnati and New England, 10-7 lead, a must-win game for the Bengals, who trail the Browns by a game in the AFC Central, and Cleveland with an 11-point lead on Buffalo at Rich Stadium. Kansas City still keeping its hopes alive, 17-10 over the Broncos. These are all third quarter scores. Look what the Bears are doing. We haven't seen much offense out of them lately, but Tom, Zach, and Flutie had the engines working today, and they're up 35-0 on Tampa Bay, which has really been going downhill of late. Minnesota 19-6 over Green Bay. Detroit and Pittsburgh are tied 17-17, couple of erratic teams. Philadelphia 10-3 on St. Louis, and Atlanta leads Indianapolis by 6. Well, be sure to stay tuned for our second half of our doubleheader coming up. Most of you will see the San Francisco 49ers take on the New York Jets. Others will see the Oilers meet the Chargers. Check your local listing here on NBC Sports. Dalton Hilliard looking to throw. Now he's going to run it. And he takes it to the 15-yard line. Hilliard actually threw a touchdown pass earlier this year. He's attempted 3 passes, completed 1 for a 29-yard touchdown. They practiced the play yesterday, and he looked like he wanted to throw it here, but couldn't find anybody.
He was looking for Eugene Goodlow, number 88. Watch, right there. He can't get it off, and watch the determination now to make something of nothing by Dalton Hilliard.
Hilliard, second-round draft choice out of nearby LSU. He was the 8th running back taken in the draft this year. Saints have dominated the rushing game in the third quarter. Wayne Wilson takes it close to the 10-yard line. George Little stops him. Wilson, the 8-year veteran out of Shepherd College in West Virginia, signed as a free agent after he had been released earlier. If you go back to a year ago, he was the leading rusher for the Saints. 1983 was that last meeting. The only win in the series for the Saints. Miami leads the series 3 wins to 1. Third down, 4 yards to go for the Saints. Wilson will pass. Was Jordan, and he couldn't hold on. He was absolutely wide open. Reggie, they just can't get over the hump.
Well, with 26 seconds left in the third quarter, this will be a play that the Saints will remember. There is no one out here in front of Buford Jordan. If he holds on to this ball, he might even score. Watch it now. Right on his hands. He can't hold on to it. They have to settle for a Morton Anderson field goal attempt. That hurts.
30-yard field goal attempt by Anderson. He missed that 50-yarder, but as you saw, had hit 16 in a row, and one of them in this game.
Offense, you need to come away from there with 7 points, something the Miami Dolphins and Dan Marino do very, very well. Dave Wilson isn't as fortunate in this pass situation. Here it is once again, coming to the right of your screen, number 23. Wilson throws an excellent pass to Jordan. All he has to do is catch this ball and run for 6 points.
Drop passes have been the nemesis of the Saints today, and actually throughout the season. Wilson has had a lot of passes dropped, and the fans sometimes don't take that into account when they look at his statistics. 13 of 27 today. How many of those incompletions have been dropped, Reggie? I know
oh, my goodness. Yes, a lot of those passes. I mean, he should be up around 20 out of 27, really, when you think about it. So many of those swing passes have been dropped, short passes over the middle. But he's been imperturbable. I admire the way he has hung in there and played football, and he's coming back and he's leading this team, and that's what a quarterback is supposed to do, provide some direction. As you see Dave Wilson talk to number 3, Hebert.
From the end zone, you see the alignment as Morton Anderson is set to kick off. Ellis is deep for the Dolphins. Good kick by Anderson. Ellis takes it 6 yards deep, and he'll down it there. Miami goes on offense. They have managed only 23 yards of total offense here in the third quarter, and yet the Saint offense has not been able to take advantage of the Saint defense's improved play.
I think the Dolphins have suffered from just a relaxed mental perspective about this ball game, thinking that they had it under control. You can never do that in the National Football League. Dan Marino went off the attack a little bit. I think you're going to see him back on the attack, and when they're on the attack, they throw on first down.
17 seconds left in the third quarter. 31-20 Miami lead. They run on first down to Hampton, and he's got nothing. 1 yard to the 21. And the clock will tick away to end the third quarter of play. Sam Mills, the inside linebacker, stopped Hampton after a gain of 1. So that's the end of the third quarter of play with a score in the first half. But in the third quarter, it was a completely different story as the Saints took over on ball control. And they have shut the Dolphin offense down. Only 24 yards in offense in the third quarter. Marino, Clayton, and a first down for the Dolphins to the 39-yard line. Ricky Jackson stopping Clayton with help from Johnny Poe, but it was a Dolphin first down to Clayton, the 4-year veteran from Louisville.
The Saints are using a 4-man rush now, hoping to hurry Marino some so that they can cover a little closer. You see Marino, as all quarterbacks do, go down after they release the football.
Mark Clayton, who has over 3,000 career receiving yards, two-time Pro Bowler, and starting today, despite the shoulder separation, Bennett plows ahead for a yard or two.
The one change in the Dolphins' strategy in the second half has been now they are running the football on first down. Now, the reason why they're doing that, of course, is that they have a lead and they want to run some time off the clock.
There's Clayton, 83, who made the first down grab a moment ago. Bennett comes out of the game now. Clayton with his 200th career catch on that last one for the first down. 200 career receptions for Mark Clayton. He needed 4 today, and that was it. Marino under pressure throws it to a receiver that was pretty well covered, Tony Nathan. And Maxey is able to stop him, but there you saw the ability of Marino under pressure to thread the needle with the pass.
Watching the middle of the screen, number 99, Tony Elliott is pressuring Marino. Seems like a rejuvenated player since that penalty earlier on in the game.
Looks like he went to the chops again one time. He was penalized for that earlier in the game.
He didn't do it flagrantly that time.
3rd and 5 for the Dolphins. Big defensive play for the Saints if they hope to continue their comeback to get into the game. They trail by 11 with 13 minutes to play. They're showing blitz, but they don't come. And Marino finds his man for another first down. This one is to James Pruitt.
I can't tell you how...
Tony Nathan, excuse me, Nathan.
I can't tell you how impressive a throw that is. Marino threw the football before Nathan ever came out of the break. He had that ball sailing up in the air. It was timed perfectly. What else can you say about number 13, Tom?
It's all been said many times, and what is scary is that this is just his 4th year in the league. Drive continues from the 45 of the Saints. Marino under pressure. Look deep, nobody there. Good coverage. He finally ducked it off short and incomplete. Woody Bennett was the intended receiver, and Tolles is putting on the pressure.
If Dan Marino has one more second, Mark Duper is 20 yards behind the secondary for a touchdown. Let's watch the pocket protection here. Oh, Tony Elliott is a mean man. He's putting his hands in everyone's face. He got Lorenzo Hampton that time.
Yeah. Dolphins annually lead the league in fewest sacks allowed. Much of that due to Marino's quick release, but they still do a good job of protecting him. Marino rolls for time and sails it out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10 coming up.
Now here's what you do when you don't have a receiver open. You play this game long enough to know that you can't take a sack. Watch Marino just throw it away. See, throws it out of bounds, doesn't take the yardage loss that comes about as a result of the sack. Now he comes back and has an opportunity maybe to pick up a first down.
It's 3rd and 10 for the Dolphins, and they get that receiving core in. Duper, Moore, Pruitt, and Clayton. And the Saints respond with their nickel defense.
One of the few times in the game, Tom, that it's been 3rd down and 10 for Miami.
Plenty of time. And complete to Mark Duper. It'll be close to the first down. Antonio Gibson stopped him, and I believe a little short of the first down. It depends on the spot. Duper says first down. But the official says 4th down. The ball is at the 36-yard line of the Saints. And the Dolphins on 4th down are going to go for it. They send in their 2 tight end formation. Hardy and Johnson are both in. You saw the distance needed on 4th down.
He didn't make it.
Lorenzo Hampton stacked at the line of scrimmage by James Haynes, the outside linebacker, and the Saints take over.
I think the fit is becoming a little bit too tight for Don Shula right now. He has seen this happen all too often in 1986.
Shula and his offense have been held in check here in the second half.
Watch the charge of the people in the black shirts. They get into the backfield with penetration. On a 4th down play like that, everybody gets down underneath the offensive lineman.
First down then for the Saints. They start from their own 36-yard line. 11:05 remaining. Saints down 31-20. Wilson's got a man. It's Mays. Mays. Good running. Just short of midfield. A first down for the Saints. That one covered 14 yards. Mays shows us his receiving ability there. And when he gets that ball, he can do a lot of things with it.
The Saints defense stopping the Dolphins gives the offense a lift. They've got the crowd on their side, and they've got Ruben Mays on their side. Watch it now as he looks upfield and makes a good cut. Always heads outside, then looks back inside, picks up positive yardage on every carry.
Ball rests right on the midfield stripe where the Saints have a first down. Martin in motion. Wilson will put it up. Complete. Tice. He's got another Saint first down. Offerdahl took him to the turf, but Tice gained 15 yards, and the Saints are smoking on this drive. 2 nice completions, 2 first downs.
And for the Saints, the script is the same. Ruben Mays, somebody else. Ruben Mays, someone else. No matter who else they go to, in between that player, it's always giving the ball back to Ruben Mays, number 36.
Saints took over after the 4th down missed conversion by Miami on their own 36. They've advanced it to the Miami 35. Mays inside the 30. He got 5 yards on the sweep. Shipp and Sauché took him down.
So that's the pattern I'm talking about, Tom. It's almost as if they're allowing Mays to rest on the field in between plays. He's had such a burden. He's carried 18 times, 166 yards. It's warm down on that field. The young man has to be tired, but they cannot disregard him. If they're going to win this football game, this man has to handle the ball.
He's used to handling it in college. As a junior against Oregon, playing for Washington State, he rushed for 357 yards, which is an NCAA single game record. Wilson's got it. Complete to Jones. Jones with a first down at the Dolphin 15. 16-yard gain. Don McNeil made the saving tackle.
No doubt about it, you can feel the Dolphin defense sagging right now. Mike Jones has been hot on this pattern all day long, coming back across the field, makes the good catch. First down at a 15-yard line.
Mays takes it to the 10. Glenn Blackwood manages to grab hold and ride him to the turf. But Mays picked up 5 more.
Mays told us yesterday that he hadn't been used to, at Washington State, running out of the I formation. Watch all of the good moves here that he sets up the blocks with. There's one. Here comes another. Stutter step. Watch. Good move right there. Freezes the defensive back, Glenn Blackwood, and then picks up additional yardage until they bring him down on the outside.
2nd and 5 from the Dolphin 10. Mays straight ahead to the 6. It's going to be 3rd and about 1 or 2. Chuck Studley continues to ponder the situation, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins. Wilson getting the play called from the sideline. Clock on the move. It's down to 8 minutes to play in the game. The Dolphins lead 31-20. And the Saints faced with a 3rd and 2 here at the 6-yard line. There's the situation.
It has been in this situation in the 3rd and 4th quarter where the Saints have faltered.
Give it to Mays. And he's got the first down. It'll be first and goal for the Saints. Brian Robinson stopped him short of the touchdown, but it's hard to stop Reuben Mays. He's going to get a yard or two, it seems, every time he touches the football. In fact, averages almost 5 a carry coming into the game.
Watch him with total disregard for his body, flying through the air, still maintaining possession. That's the most important thing, and that impresses me about Reuben Mays, that he's out of control at times, but he maintains possession of the ball.
Nearly 200 of the Saints total. First and goal. Wilson will pass. Flag down. Tice has got it for the touchdown. We'll check the penalty marker. I'm surprised they went to the air there, and he threw it in a crowd.
Well, he's coming off the field as if it's against the Dolphins, and it is.
Nearly 70,000 fans have seen the Saints get back into it in the second half. Tice gets credit for the touchdown grab. The penalty was against the Dolphins.
Penalties declined. Touchdown.
Holding call against Fred Robinson declined, and the Saints get the touchdown.
And the way Dan Marino and his offense were operating, what the Saints have done here in the second half is simply astonishing.
Morton Anderson will try to get the extra point. It's been 2 different football games. The Dolphins won the first half, but now the Saints are on a roll. 7:03 to play. It's 31-27.
First BMW dealer. By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Sony Video 8, the system of the future. Weigh the evidence at your nearest Sony dealer.
Morton Anderson's kick sails out of the end zone. And the big crowd of 70,000 right in the game, and the Saints have made a terrific comeback in the second half. Tom Hammond and Reggie Rucker from the Superdome. 6:58 to play. Here's the score that made it 31-26.
It's a play-action fake. They're trying to hold the linebackers. They do. Coming right across the middle, right in the middle of your screen, is John Tice, number 82. Good pass from Dave Wilson for the touchdown.
Morton Anderson's extra point made it 31-27, and Dave Wilson has directed the Saint comeback in the second half. They have outgained the Dolphins 300-39.
And Dan Marino has to throw the football on first down. The Dolphins have gotten away from that, and it has hurt them.
This is the best offense in the NFL, and they keep it on the ground to Hampton. He's got 3 yards to the 23. Antonio Gibson stops him. Reggie, they keep it on the ground.
This is perplexing. The Dolphins were almost impossible to stop. They were throwing the football on first down. Dan Marino was completing passes at will. The Saints were out of the ball game. Suddenly now, they've gone conservative. They're running the football. They're not picking up good yardage on first down, and it has really given the Saints new life.
Marino has passed for 240 yards, but not many here in the second half. Tony Nathan in at a running back replacing Bennett. It's Nathan and Hampton. Marino tosses complete. No gain on the play for Tony Nathan. Gibson smelled that one out from the start. Gibson hobbling a little as he gets up.
You know, sometimes when you go in a locker room at halftime, a defensive coach will say, you know, it's not anything that we're doing that's hurting us. We're just not doing it well enough. So what I think is happening here, as you look at the play by Antonio Gibson, is that the Saints are just out executing the Dolphins defensively.
Gibson still hobbling as he sets up on defense for the Dolphins on 3rd and 6. Marino's pass is incomplete. Good coverage over there by Dave Waymer. Waymer was all over his man, and Marino had to throw it away. This Saint defense has played a roused football in the second half when it looked like in the first half they weren't even going to show today.
They have begun to erode some of the confidence that Marino had the first 3 quarters in this football game. They are covering people all over the field, and they are tighter on the backs coming out of the backfield so that Marino really doesn't have an outlet pass.
Roby has had a good day indoors. From field level, Roby smacks it away. High, towering kick. McLemore takes it at the 27. Trying to get outside. and is finally stopped at about the 33-yard line. Andy Hendel made the stop for the Dolphins as the Saints try to keep that offense going. 5:16 to... Tom Hammond and Reggie Rucker from the Superdome. 5:16 to play. The Dolphins leading 31-27. But in the second half, the Saints have outscored them 17-0. And the Saints have the ball with a first down on their own 34-yard line.
Ruben Mays, 21 carries, 177 yards. I would believe he would be the first person to touch this ball.
And he is. Takes it to the 39-yard line. Got 5 yards. John Offerdahl, rookie against rookie, gets the tackle.
Tom, he's picking up 5 and 6 yards a carry every time he handles the football. I don't know whether the Dolphins defense can withstand that kind of pressure from that running back, and he is making all of the players around him better than what they are simply because he's so good.
When you pick up 5 yards on first down, it enables you to do a lot of things from there on, like give it to Ruben Mays again. And he takes it to the 46-yard line of Miami. Bud Brown and Renee Thompson take him down, but he got 15 on that run.
You're watching the makings of one of the next great rushers in the National Football League.
Dolphins reeling on defense as the Saints continue to apply the pressure. Clock ticking down to 4 minutes. First down, New Orleans at the 46 of Miami. Mays. That time Ruben gets about 3. T.J. Turner, the defensive end, stopped him, and Mays slow getting up. 201 yards now. He's over 200 for the day. Mays walking slowly to the sideline. We'll take a look at the scores. You see that the Giants continue to lead Washington 24-7. Joe Gibbs has never lost a game in the final 3 of the regular season as the Redskin head coach. Wilson's pass complete. Eric Martin makes a clutch reception at the Dolphin 20-yard line. Bud Brown covering on the play. Martin makes the catch for 21 yards.
And any quarterback in this league, if he has the benefit of a Ruben Mays in the backfield rushing the football, he's going to be an effective passer because you have that double threat running and passing the football. You've had too many options for the defense to defend. Eric
Martin, 2-year veteran out of LSU, the all-time leading receiver in the Southeastern Conference, gives the Saints a first down at the Dolphin 20. 2:45 and kicking. Mays. It's not room. It's Dalton Hilliard, another LSU grad that's in the game. And Hilliard totes it to the 15. Bud Brown stopped him there. Here's Hilliard.
Hilliard, who is about 215 pounds on a 5 feet 9 inch frame, churning and very powerful young fella. If the Dolphins do not get a turnover, they will not stop this rushing attack of the New Orleans Saints.
Hilliard, as you see, is out, and Mays is now back in at that tailback spot. And here's the handoff. He's hit just as he gets the ball and is taken down. T.J. Turner, the rookie out of Houston, with a big defensive play for the Dolphins as we come to the 2-minute mark. 2-minute warning in the game. Timeout here at the Superdome in New Orleans. Miami leads 31-27, but New Orleans looking to go in for a chance to win it.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1972 desperation time for Dallas in the playoffs. Trailing San Francisco 28-13, Roger Staubach comes off the bench and hits Billy Parks on a nifty one up the middle. After a field goal following an onside kick, Staubach is back with a perfect strike to Ron Sellers in the end zone. The miraculous Cowboys score 17 points in the fourth quarter and steal a shot at the championship.
Reggie, win or lose, it's been a great Saints comeback, fueled by Ruben Mays, who has 202 yards. The last guy to gain that many against the Miami Dolphins, in fact, 203, which is the record, was a guy named O.J. Simpson. That puts him in pretty select company.
Certainly does. One thing that the New Orleans Saints have to be concerned with now, scoring too soon.
By the way, they've shut down the Miami offense in this half. I'll tell you what, it's been a team-wide comeback. Both the offense and the defense have played much better here in the second half. In Miami, as you pointed out, Reggie, perhaps got a little too conservative. And certainly not able to get the offense cranked up as they had it to start the game.
Well, there are 2 minutes left in this ball game, and I know Don Shula, the thing that's on his mind is he's saying, well, listen, I don't want these guys to score and use up all of the clock. So he's probably hoping that if they score soon, so he'll have enough time to retaliate.
Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. 2 minutes to play. 3rd and 4 here for the Saints. Wilson got his man. Jones to the 6. First down, New Orleans. William Judson kept him out of the end zone, but the Saints will have it 1st and goal. Clock on the move inside 2 minutes and down to 1:41.
Pattern that's been very successful all day long, a crossing patterns. And there's Mike Jones once again making the catch as he's done all day long when the Saints have needed it.
1st and goal, New Orleans from the 6-yard line of the Dolphins. Miami leads 31-27. Reuben Mays. Stopped at the 1-yard line. Mays got out of bounds to stop at 1:11. Watch the replay, Reggie.
They're standing on their feet for Reuben Mays here in the Superdome. Coming right at you. Look at the good blocks. Comiskey, number 66, leading, but Mays doing it all on his own. Just shy of the touchdown. That might be a good sign because now they can run the football and use up the clock.
The ball is spotted just inside the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal from that point. Flags that. Big discussion here. Mays was in the end zone. Illegal motion against the Saints. That nullifies a touchdown.
Yes, and when you're inside the 20-yard line, 2 people in an offensive formation cannot move at the same time. They call it a
illegal motion. Really. 2 offensive players moving at the same time. 2nd down.
So it was Reuben Mays himself that caused the penalty.
And a 5-yard penalty in the scoring territory like that is more destructive than you can imagine. There it is once again, both guys moving. John Tice was correct. Reuben Mays was wrong. That penalty hurts more in this area of the field than anything else because there's not a lot of room to operate down here.
2nd and goal from the 5. Mays got it only to the 4 as the clock rolls down to 1 minute.
If I were Miami, I think I'd start calling timeout.
Hendel makes the stop. Clock stopped with 57 seconds left. So this one about to come to a stirring conclusion in New Orleans. 57 seconds left. Reggie, the mental mistakes can hurt a football team so much.
This is so critical because the Saints need a touchdown. They cannot win this game with a field goal. And the further you back yourself away from that goal line, the more difficult it is to get in.
3rd and goal for the Saints from the 4-yard line. 57 seconds left. Miami leading 31-27. Here's Mays. He's going to be stopped. Mays is stopped for a loss on the play. The clock continues to roll. And now they stop it with a timeout. The Saints take a timeout to stop the clock. They have 1 timeout left, 47 seconds left. That's the play that has been so valuable to them all day, but the Dolphins were ready for it.
This Bud's for all thing else. Maybe a backside blitz by a cornerback.
Wilson.
No good.
Incomplete, intended for Harris. The pass intended for Harris, and the Saint comeback falls short.
Harris had given Wilson a lane. I think Dave Wilson reacted a little bit too quickly. He bounced that ball in front of Harris. Let's take a look at it. You see pressure now coming from the left side of the screen. The pocket is crushing a little bit on Wilson, but he has ample time to throw the ball, but he just did not throw a good pass there. That play, Herbert Harris was open in the end zone, and it was Dave Wilson all the way who just didn't get the football there after playing so remarkably well.
Jim Mora, who is...
His hair turned gray, didn't it?
overnight on one play.
Wow.
Saints have one timeout left, so the Dolphins will just try to kill the clock here. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited. Clock stops with 36 seconds left. In Reggie, the Dolphins dominated the first half, looked absolutely flawless on offense, and the Saints have dominated the second half. But that one critical mistake, the penalty, nullified the touchdown, ironically, by the man who had gotten the Saints back into it, Reuben Mays, who has set a record today for a Saints running back with 207 yards, and yet it was the penalty on he that nullified the touchdown.
We talked about the physical burden that Reuben Mays was under, carrying the football as much as he did, providing the bulk of the offense. You wonder sometimes what kind of mental pressure a young player is under to perform in a situation like that, and it was just the absence of a moment of concentration there that cost him this football game.
And here's the rookie.
He's consoling the other guys
on his team. Tell them to keep their head up.
Well, he certainly can keep his head up. He is a fabulous football player, and you never like to lose a game, particularly one that you could have won, but I think there are big things in store for these New Orleans Saints and the Jim Mora and his staff.
Marina kills it, and the Dolphins will hang on by the skin of their teeth to record this victory. They looked super in the first half, but in the second half, it's been the Saints that have dominated the play. And Reuben Mays, a record-setting performance today, but will come up 4 points short. Time now for our Budweiser MVP. And in a losing cause, it'll be the rookie Reuben Mays, who rushed for 207 yards, which is a New Orleans Saints record. So our MVP today is Reuben Mays from New Orleans, and Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected today. Dan Marino and company hang on to win as Dave Wilson leaves the field after a comeback that fell 4 points short. Miami wins 31-27.